yeah. Ball in my court, high step is a layup. My life like a movie, just keep moving, it's a trailer. Chefing in my kitchen, got me trying to get my cake up. I thank God for all this coming to me, not straight up.
Miggity. Oh, we don't have a book. Do we need a book? Or we won't do the book this time?
It's up to you, man. That's your thing.
Let's do Blink. Malcolm Gladwell. What do you think about that?
Malcolm Gladwell. You listen to this podcast, Revisionist History?
Probably have listened to it before. Yeah,
It was really good. It started off really good. Slow down.
He's a smart guy.
He's an arrogant guy, but he's a smart guy.
No, I don't believe so.
He's very arrogant. You had to listen to him talk. I'm sure if he reads the book in a specific way, he's pretty arrogant. But I like him. I do like him. His podcast did fall off, but I was on it for like 2 years.
Oh, dope.
It was one of the best podcasts ever for a while, and then it just kind of
a lot of human nature talk, right?
Yeah, for the most part, but it was like he would break down theory, a lot of theory, why people make decisions, but he would also like break down specific things that like we think we have an idea of, and then he'd give a ton of information.
Oh, he's a myth buster.
Yeah, a little bit. It was really, really good, but then it turned into arrogance, and I think that's what happens with most people that are on a podcast,
Like us?
Yeah, it happens to everybody. Your ego gets inflated. You're talking all the time. Then you kind of morph into this.
You become a narcissist?
Absolutely. I mean, like we just have to fill space. We can't be quiet.
What's your definition of a narcissist?
Someone who's constantly seeking attention, and doing things to seek more attention, but that's what we're doing. But I feel like you
want to hear what it is?
He just wanted to hear himself talk way more, I think, than give information at towards the end of the end of the stint when I watched it.
One of the deepest forms of narcissism is when you believe others are an extension of yourself.
When you believe others are an extension of yourself.
Yeah, and if they don't act the way you feel like they should through you, you get very upset if you're a narcissist.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad that I'm not like that.
Well, welcome to episode 21
I thought it was 21.
He's With Us, the theatrical pause. No, I just almost said 20. That is the truth. But, I fixed it. But 21, man, what's the vibes, Ash?
Getting all this hate online.
Word?
Welcoming it, but I'm getting some love. There's some fans out there. People, somebody, I felt great about a specific comment. Somebody said, I finally agree.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about too.
Yeah. It was a great take, though, by me,
It was a great take. Says the man talking about narcissism before the pod.
It was a great take.
My man declared his take great. Which one was that again?
LeBron. You said LeBron would have 7 with Scottie Pippen. What a ridiculous take. And then I said he's got Scottie Pippen. He's got someone better. AD. And then you said AD better than Scottie Pippen?
That was actually a great video. That was a great video. Speaking of LeBron, dropped 40,000. Never even hung his hat on scoring. Pass first guy. I think the GOAT debate is coming to an end.
Yep. I think we all now know that even with 40,000, it's still Jordan. So I think it's come to an end. I agree. Come on, man. Like, I don't understand why people are thinking this 40,000 actually is going to push him over the GOAT. Like, we haven't cared.
What does the man have to do?
Here's the thing. We haven't cared about points before because prior to that, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had 38,000 plus.
Even Bill Russell said it.
Nobody considered Kareem the GOAT.
Even Bill Russell said on that commercial this game has always been about buckets.
I understand, but it wasn't about buckets when nobody considered Kareem Abdul-Jabbar the GOAT. When he had 38,000 plus, right? So why does the goalpost move for LeBron James? Like,
I think Kareem's in that trio of people, of who people consider the GOAT. He's usually that third guy.
nah.
Yeah.
A lot of people put Magic over Kareem.
Not.
Yeah,
what I hear.
there's some people who consider Kareem the GOAT, and they're usually 65 and older.
Yeah, there's more people that consider Kareem the GOAT than Magic the GOAT.
No. Like, but in the list, they usually don't have Kareem. They have Kareem maybe like 4 or 5, in the list. But yes, there are people that do think he's the GOAT. There's people that think Kobe's the GOAT. So everybody, people think Paul George's the GOAT. So, but I'm talking about when they do the list, often Magic is above Kareem. People think Magic is like
Prime
what's his
Magic.
name? Who just said? Someone just said Magic is the 3rd best Laker of all time.
Prime Magic wasn't better than Prime Bird.
So what are you saying is better though? Because every single list has Magic better than
fine.
Bird. So what do you mean better? So this is the problem with this entire who's better, who's worse, who's the GOAT, is that it's never defined properly. Are we talking about the best basketball player or the greatest NBA career? Those are two completely different things.
Who's the better basketball player?
Better basketball player
Prime Magic, Prime Bird. Who's the better basketball player?
Bird is a better basketball player.
There you go.
I agree with that. You know what I mean? But Magic has the greatest career, so I guess that's what we're talking about.
And more longevity. Yep.
Yeah, so that's what we're talking about. When we say GOAT, I think that is what people are defining. So when people say this guy is the best, this guy is better, I don't know if that's the case because we're not even arguing the same thing half the time.
It's the same thing with the MVP conversation.
So
nobody defines what the MVP is, right?
Yeah. So LeBron, yes, I guess if you talking about great careers, absolutely. What he's done legacy-wise, how he's built up the NBA and all this other stuff, what he's changed, how he's influenced, all that, yeah, absolutely. But Jordan did all that too and won at an incredible rate. And did it in a way that was so mystical. Michael Jordan created this essence that he wasn't human, and LeBron, there's a bit of that with LeBron as well too. But I think we just have seen LeBron fail so much that it does make him seem more human.
MJ failed too. It was just a long time ago.
I understand.
Twice against the Pistons. Before that, didn't get out the first round.
I agree, but yeah, every single superstar fell into those circumstances except Kobe Bryant. You know what I mean? Early on in their career, they struggled. The difference between that...
Kobe struggled as an individual, but the team was always solid, right? For the most part.
Kobe didn't struggle as an individual.
Yeah, he had times where he airballed and he struggled in the playoffs and he got stronger.
His rookie year, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
This is rookie year, and he didn't even play that much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So...
right, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, he barely played that year.
Yeah.
So... but since then, he made the All-Star team the next year.
Well, none of those guys struggled really individually besides Kobe's first year, and then they all were good right out the bat, Kobe included.
Yeah, Kobe
saying.
would have been good. If you talk to anyone that was on the Lakers, they're like he was probably better than Eddie Jones as a rookie. But what's his name? Who's the coach? Why am I drawing a blank on his name? I forget. But he didn't play rookies. Just did not play rookies. And one of the reasons he put Kobe
that would never be a rule now.
I know, right? One of the reasons he put Kobe in the game is because he knew he wasn't prepared and he knew he was going to shoot and put him in that situation to spite Jerry West.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who was advocating for him to play. So it was kind of a fuck you thing. And then he's he airballed it. You know what I mean? But
so you don't think this 40,000 from LeBron helps his GOAT case?
No.
Should longevity matter in the GOAT debate?
Absolutely, but it's only if it's significantly you know, like in comparison to somebody else who didn't have who had a short career. You know, if Zion has a 8-year career that he's dominant in, how can you compare him to somebody who had a pretty good career that played 18 years, you know? But Michael Jordan played 16 years. Like LeBron at the end.
And those Wizards years are the years that LeBron is having now.
No, I understand, but I also think that like it's not LeBron's fault. But if Michael
In
Jordan
terms of age,
never
I mean.
stopped playing basketball, you know what I mean? Like he never stopped playing, it would have been completely different. He came onto the Wizards, he was overweight, like, you know what I mean? It's a different thing. If LeBron took a couple years off and came back, I promise you he wouldn't be as dominant as he is now. I promise you.
He's actually getting more skillful.
I agree with that. Yeah. I mean, that's what happens. When you're a talented basketball player, I mean, and you have great ability.
I don't know if that's what happens.
Your game's
that doesn't happen with everybody. The level of skill that he's showing at this
when
age,
you're a great basketball player, yeah, you often losing athletic ability translates to craftiness and skill.
No, some people just happen to work on their skill and refine their skill, and some people just aren't good anymore.
No, every single player. The only reason...
Come on, man. No, just some players fall off and fall out the league.
Yeah, but usually those people fall off because of physical diminishment. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's diminished physically in his own right.
Yeah, but he's still supreme athlete. Like, he's running faster. I swear he's running faster this year than he's ever ran. Like, recently, in recent times.
Okay.
Like, he's going so much harder because he really is trying to get in the playoffs. Because I think he thinks the team has a chance to win or at least get far in the playoffs if they make it.
But that speaks to his longevity and his greatness. Like, that has to be in the debate when you're talking about him and Jordan.
Yeah, but I don't
like
think
getting more skillful with time. The 40,000.
I don't think it pushes it over. Like here's the thing. Like
you don't think it pushes it over. Does it get him closer though? In your opinion?
No. The only thing LeBron can do now is win championships. That's the only thing.
So if he wins 2 more, you'll admit.
Absolutely, that gets him closer. Absolutely.
No, he's better if he win. Come on, man. If he wins 2 more championships, his career is greater. He's the greater player. He's everything over Jordan. If he wins 2 more championships,
yeah. If he wins 2 more, but I'm saying it gets him. That will get him closer.
That's not closer. He's just better. It's just a done deal.
Fine, I'll give him that, but he's not going to do it, so it doesn't matter.
We don't know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. If he wins 2 more, then yeah. I mean, I still don't think he'll pass him because.
Come on, bro.
Come
on, man.
In most people's eyes, I just don't think.
In a lot of people's eyes, it's closed now. LeBron's the GOAT.
A lot of people, but still not most.
I don't know about that. I don't believe that.
We put the thing in AI, didn't we?
ChatGPT is late, man.
Bro, it's not even ChatGPT. Like, dog, this is the crazy thing, right? This is the wild shit, right? Everybody forgets Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and his greatness. A lot of people forget Magic Johnson and their greatness. These people are from a past era. Michael Jordan hasn't touched a basketball in over 25 years, and people still consider him the greatest basketball player. That's crazy, bro.
Who?
What?
Who hasn't touched a basketball?
Michael Jordan.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true.
Like all these other players who haven't played, people forget about their greatness, bro.
That's crazy. Wizards Jordan was that long ago.
Bro.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it's like, dog, like that is a testament to his influence, bro. Like at the end of the day, like there are people who never watched him play basketball ever live that consider him the greatest. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy, bro.
The Last Dance helped that out.
I agree, but that's my.
LeBron had some cameras in the bubble. We don't know what film he's gonna make.
At the end of the day, that's testament to his mythology. Like he's a creature, a mythical creature, bro. That's. I mean, bro, I just don't think even if technically LeBron wins 2 more titles, yes, technically he could be better than Jordan. I don't know if people are going to surrender it to LeBron because Michael Jordan just created.
They're holding on now.
What?
They're holding on now.
Michael Jordan just created this untouchable.
In your opinion, who's a better basketball player?
Basketball player, Michael Jordan. Yeah. LeBron might have a better career, but Michael Jordan, I don't even think it's close.
I disagree.
Yeah, like LeBron, might do enough to have a better totality body of work. Absolutely, I'll give him that. But basketball player, I just don't think, and I think it's the mentality. Like the mentality.
I think
it just pushes Michael Jordan over the edge. Like I think yes, LeBron might have more physical ability.
I mean, he's a better playmaker, better passer,
things like
better
that.
rebounder.
But there were people like that were better than Michael Jordan when he played against, and Michael Jordan figured out a way to beat every one of them. That's the difference. Like I think Michael Jordan's mentality was just next level. Like he would figure out what he needed to do to win, and I think that's what I think people kill LeBron for, because there were so many opportunities where we felt like a great player would have figured out a way to get it done, and he wasn't able to. And honestly, I think the biggest one situational that situation happened with was with the Mavericks. Like it was an epic meltdown, and
Come on, man, you're holding on to that?
No, not me. Everybody is. That's one of the main.
Talk about you, man. I want your opinion, not everybody.
That's my opinion too. Like that was like it was pathetic. That was pathetic. And I'm sure LeBron would admit that was pathetic. That is probably the biggest stain in his entire career, and one of the things that most people, and including myself, hold on to in terms of mentality. Because it's not like if he had lost that series, it's fine. Dirk was crazy. Dude wasn't shooting the ball. He didn't even want the ball at the end of the game. Dude had 8 points in a game. Dude took a shot in the fourth quarter. Like that is crazy. Like if he had gone down on the ship shooting, doing what he could, like the way he lost to Golden State, nobody would have said anything. That would have elevated his career so much more. That would have put him right next to Jordan. Like I mean, he's already there, but like that would have like legitimately to the haters made his argument even stronger.
If you're a hater, you'll always find something.
I agree, but at that that's
actually
the number one
like,
thing haters can say though. And if that didn't happen,
that's actually the definition of somebody who's envious and a hater. They'll find that one thing that person doesn't have, and they'll point to that.
But it wasn't that also that one thing. You know what I mean? Like
in general, that has nothing to do with Michael Jordan. That's like an envious person and a hater.
It's not even that thing. I mean, people could talk about prime LeBron not even making the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, Jordan too.
I'm talking about prime after winning championships.
Jordan teams didn't even go to the playoffs every year.
No, so early on they didn't go to the playoffs.
Right.
Like early on when he was like second. Same with LeBron's teams. LeBron didn't make the playoffs early, so like that happens. But then after that he made the playoffs and he was losing to literally your guy, Larry Bird. You know what I mean? So like one of the greatest players ever, running into one of the greatest teams ever, and then also when finally they descended, running into one of the greatest players and greatest teams ever with the Detroit Pistons.
Something you told me that I found interesting is that you don't believe you could appreciate LeBron. You can't appreciate LeBron and Jordan's game. You can't. You can't. You told me you can't appreciate both of them. It's non-competitive.
Nah, I mean, I said it was non-competitive because you got to pick. I said you got to pick one GOAT.
You had some angst.
You got to pick one GOAT. That's what it comes down to.
You can't appreciate both their games?
You can appreciate both their games, but you have to still differentiate the GOAT. Because if you consider them a tie, which some people say, that's non-competitive. You got to pick one.
But
draw a line in the sand.
You're talking about a person having an opinion about two other people. It doesn't make that person non-competitive.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that, like, it's a tie. That's corny. Say which one's better, because I can't see. You can't. As a competitive athlete, you can't go into it as a tie situation. You can't create.
But is it from the person's perspective? The athlete is them. They're the athletes, not the person talking. What do you mean as a competitive athlete?
If you're a competitive athlete, if I'm a competitive, I'm a competitive athlete.
Personally,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
so,
but
for me, I don't want like if someone asks me who's better, I'm not going to say a tie.
But bro, yeah, like if you're talking about yourself, if you're a competitive athlete, that's different than talking about two other athletes.
But I'm still a competitive person, so I'm gonna give you.
But you
what's better or what's worse.
You don't work for either of them. Like you shouldn't have vested interest in either of them. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like your team. Like that doesn't make you.
If you're
that
a fan
doesn't
of
make
one
you
person, it's kind of like your team. You know what I mean? Like
okay, but forget about the word fan. Just analyzing who's the better player, I think, is often the better thing to do. Not like if you're a fan or one or the other. Even if you like one's game a little bit more.
I'm telling you who I like better, Jordan.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, you're like, well, you can't appreciate both.
You were like no. Jordan fans feel this way. It doesn't matter what Jordan fans feel. It matters if you have an unbiased opinion about what's going on and who's the better player.
I do have an unbiased opinion. You know what I mean? Like, I think LeBron's number 2. Like, you guys stop coming at me like I'm saying LeBron's not even in the top 10. I consider him number 2. It's no slight at him that I think Jordan's better. I'm not the only one thinking that. Most people think that shit.
I think it's getting harder and harder to hang on to that with his longevity.
I don't. I think all it is showing that LeBron's begging. That's all he is. He's begging to be the GOAT, bro. Like, he's doing everything he can to be the GOAT.
By scoring 40,000, he's begging?
Dog, it's like, bro, I just don't think 40,000 is just a longevity award. Like, it's like
nah, his career averages are high, bro, over a long period of time.
Man, like,
he's 27, 7, and 7 over the course of his career. It's not only longevity; it speaks to his longevity.
I mean, it also speaks to the NBA. Everyone's scoring now. You know what I mean? Like, it's
come
a
on, man.
Game.
He's played through like 3 eras.
It's also a different era. This is the highest scoring ever. Like, you know, I mean, one of the highest scoring seasons ever. Like
he's really playing.
Adam Silver is looking to figure out ways to kind of neutralize the scoring because it's diminishing like these great performances. You know, like everybody's putting up crazy numbers right now.
Speaking of somebody putting up crazy numbers, Wemby. Wemby's been on a tear. And I've been asking this on different podcasts, different shows, and I want to hear your opinion on it. Prime Wemby stats. What do they look like? I'm thinking this guy's going to average over 35 one year.
Yeah,
like in terms of points.
I mean, if he gets a legitimate point guard, playmaking point guard that is like actively wants to get him easy buckets. I mean,
he's just going to generate easy buckets on his own too.
I just think like he's not like they don't have a point guard on the team. They don't have a playmaker on that team. Like, there's so many.
Imagine they get Trae Young.
Already scoring. I mean, that's what they're thinking about. I don't know if Atlanta's going to give that up, but I mean, that'd be amazing. That'd be great.
Yeah,
that'd be
both sides of the floor.
Yeah, I mean, I hope
because he could clean up everything that Trae's deficient in defensively.
Yeah, I think,
and then he's the greatest lob threat, playing with the greatest lob passer in the league right now.
Yeah, so
crazy.
I just hope that Trae Young isn't a selfish person. I hope that he's
throwing those lobs.
Well, not even
it's
that.
Too easy.
I mean, I agree, but Trae Young passes in desperation. Like, even though he is great assist guy, all his passes are in desperation.
But stay on task.
You know what I mean?
What is a Wemby stat line? Like, I think he's averaging over 35. What do you think the assists, the rebounds? Like if you had to predict prime Wemby stat line, what do you think? I'll go. I'll say like 37. Man,
37.
I think he's gonna average 37 one year.
Whoa.
37, 11 rebounds, 7 assists because he'll get doubled. He'll get to 7 assists. He's going to get doubled a lot.
Yeah. I mean, 37 is a lot of points.
37, 11, and 7.
Yeah, no, I'll probably go 33, 12, 6.5, 5 blocks, 2 steals.
Wemby also seems like a guy that does, not in a bad way, care about stats a little bit more than, like, let's say a Duncan. Like, he wants to win all these awards. He wants to break records, it feels like.
I mean, this kid's got a mentality like none other.
Yeah,
I like he's got a very old school
Yes.
mentality, and I think that a lot of these young kids, these new school kids, like it's like they try to look cool. They try to make it look easy for them. Wemby doesn't care about making it look easy. He's just trying to play as hard as he possibly can. Like, he's diving on the floor. Like, I'm like, bro, I get so nervous when he dives or jumps a bit out of control to get a block, a weak side block. I get nervous for this kid. But that's the type of effort he's putting out there. So I respect it. Like, I mean, and I'm telling you, he is going to change the culture of that team, because I think there's talent on that team, but there's a lot of dudes that don't give a fuck.
It's a Spurs culture is always in place.
Yeah, but they don't have that culture right now. Like that team hasn't been listening to Pop apparently. Like it's not like the previous era. You know what I mean? Pop has a specific way. I heard Pop's even been adapting to try to, mesh with the younger talent, because they're different. They're not going to listen to the way, like prime example. Tony Parker was kind of a rogue player that Pop had to wrangle in, but it was so easy to wrangle Tony Parker in.
Ginobili too, right?
Yeah,
Kinda,
Ginobili too.
yeah.
It was so easy to wrangle these guys in when you have Tim Duncan. You know what I mean? You have David Robinson,
Also,
who created
the
culture.
Ginobili role is you kind of let him go in that situation too.
Yeah. But even that, like, I mean, Parker is a selfish player. He's been a selfish player for a long time. You know what I mean? But, when you don't have culture established, you bring kids in that are selfish or play a specific way. It's hard. And those kids don't listen. No coaches, no players really listen to coaches like that anymore, the way that they used to.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever Pop says, people are going to be like, all right, cool. I'm pulling up 30. You know what I mean? And when you're not winning, you have no other choice but to play these guys. So, but I think Wemby comes in and changes the culture. Man, I can't believe the Spurs got Wemby, bro. The Wizards had like a 70% chance.
It feels like it with the international style of play that the Spurs always had in terms of personnel and style of play. It makes sense though. Like, it was supposed to go this way.
Yeah. I mean,
like,
we'll
all
see.
the great international players they had,
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I like this kid a lot though, man. And a lot of people were saying, "Oh yeah, Chet's rookie of the year," blah blah. And I held on to Wemby. I said this kid is better than Chet. And now I think.
Oh, I mean,
I think
most people had Wemby over Chet though, like in terms of ceiling.
No, rookie of the year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I think we talked about it. Like, in the beginning, Chet was leading, but I knew I talked about it on this podcast. We could pull it up. Like, I knew the numbers were going to start getting crazy once he started getting more comfortable.
Man, it doesn't even make any sense, bro.
Yeah.
He's shooting like 40% from three in the last like 10 games off of just step backs. Like, what? Yo, the craziest shit is his alley oops that are supposed to be entry passes. That's the wildest shit. Like, people throw just a regular entry pass and it turns into alley oop with him every single time.
If I was a person in the 90s explaining Wemby, they wouldn't believe me.
I mean, if I was a person in 2015 explaining Wemby, nobody would believe it. like this dude is
like, yeah, it's like literally the created player.
Yeah, I mean, you could explain Wemby today and it doesn't make any sense. Like, it doesn't. Like, I've just never seen anything like this in my entire life, and yeah, I mean, like, and he's humble. You kind of want to root for him. He's well spoken. He's, he seems like he's going to be charismatic. They talk about every plane ride, he's just sitting by himself reading a book.
It's like Combo. Puts the phone away, reads a book before bed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what Combo does, man.
All right. Well, then you should be catching alley-oop dunks off of entry passes.
Well, that's tough. Speaking of who's been good lately, even though that wasn't the right segue because we weren't talking about who's good lately. Actually, Wemby's good lately. You know what a team that's been good lately? See the segue? Anyway, the Milwaukee Bucks, 6 in a row. They're actually playing right now on the TV behind the cameras. They're losing right now. But they've been looking better even when they lost a few games with Doc defensively. You know, they're going into drop coverage. They're switching a little bit more with certain players. They're looking better. They're looking better. And I always said this, like I talked about this a lot on a lot of different podcasts. Like I just believe in Dame and Giannis more than any other duo in the East. And I believe they will win the East.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
And you got the Celtics, like everybody else.
I do. I really.
I mean,
do
they blew
have
out the Golden State Warriors by 50 plus the other night. Oh, you know what happened? They tried He's With Us with Jaylen Brown. And they must have been watching the show because they tried that strategy against Jaylen Brown and it did not work.
Yeah. It's like they're trying to play mind games. I think that's what they were trying to do.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's He's With Us to his essence.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown can shoot.
You know, he's one of the best turnaround jump shooters in the league.
Yeah. So I think what they wanted to, this is what I heard that they wanted to do, is they wanted Jaylen Brown to shoot a ton of shots and kind of take that away from Tatum. And then, because their thing has often been like, this person goes off and then, you know, this person kind of is spiteful of it. There's like some hero ball situation, previous seasons. So I think that's what they were trying to instill, like have Jaylen Brown take a bunch of shots and then Tatum think, oh, well, I haven't touched the ball, so now I got to 4 shots, which is how they were in the past. But they have a different team, man. Their whole mentality has changed, and I think that their culture, their team has really been established because of the new talent that's come in.
You know what's the biggest difference between them and other teams? They have 3 players that are superstars in their role. Like we talked about Aaron Gordon and Andrew Wiggins being superstars in their role. They have Derek White, Porzingis, and Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
Like they are superstars in their role, and those guys often play at an all-star level.
Yeah. So one thing is that they often had identity issues in their previous teams. And I think one of the main people was Marcus Smart. You know, Marcus Smart believed he deserved a bigger role. He was adamant about being
the heart and soul of the Celtics,
the playmaker and point guard. And Marcus Smart was the heart and soul of the Celtics. But at the same time, Marcus Smart's always been like a superstar offensive player in high school and in college.
Like a lot of guys.
And I think he never got his offensive stride in the NBA, so he kind of started to hang his hat on defense. And then once that becomes your thing, you get put in that box. And I think when he started, you know, playing with the Celtics, playing well, like his offense started to come up, he wanted to expand that. And they're like, no, you're kind of a defensive guy, catch and shoot threes and whatnot. So,
but they tried Point Smart at times.
Yeah. So so that was always like a bit of friction. You know, he called out Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown for being selfish in a press conference. Was that last year, 2 years ago? Right. And then also Malcolm Brogdon was another guy who
I heard he wants his.
Yeah, he wants his. Like he shoots a lot.
He could get his in Portland.
Yeah. So it's like losing those guys and then getting a guy like Drew Holiday who's probably better than both of them, right?
Yeah.
But he is sacrificing where I think 70% of his points are in the dunker spot right now and corner 3, which we all know Drew Holiday got a bag and can get his own.
Yeah.
But he is willing to do that and not complaining at all. And then Derek White has always been that type of person, you know? So if he gets 20 shots in a game, he's happy. If he gets 3 shots in a game, he's just as happy.
Yeah.
And I think that allows Tatum and Brown to kind of like shoot their shots, not feel bad. Oh, I'm not getting Smart the ball. Oh, Malcolm wants to run the show or whatever. You know what I mean? And that's why I think that they are really successful right now. You know?
Yeah, I mean, Porzingis fits so well. He doesn't step on the toes of Brown or Tatum. He's a pick and pop player.
Yeah,
who could do a lot of different things. I mean, he's literally like an all-star level player that you don't want to play all the time because of his injury concerns. Like you got to kind of restrict his minutes somewhat, but he's a high level player.
I mean, he's always been.
Yeah.
I mean, prime Porzingis on the Knicks was legit.
100%.
Like it was really like he was dingus bingus. Like he was really on it, you know.
Yeah.
And then he got hurt, and
he was great last year,
and
even on a
honestly,
losing team.
he has just never had a rhythm, and I feel like this is the first time he's had a rhythm on any team in a long even like he always comes back and starts playing well and then gets hurt. Like I remember when he was in Dallas and for a little bit he was really cooking. Then he went to Washington and we're like, oh, nobody remembers Porzingis, and then he started cooking again. Like he really has the ability to play well, and like I can't imagine how good he would be without the injuries if he just got a flow of being able to play for 2-3 years and just constantly get better, as opposed to constantly reestablishing his his skill set.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think I think the Celtics, I mean, they're number one in offense by far, by a mile. I mean, remember how we were talking about the Pacers, how crazy their offense was. They're head and shoulders above the Pacers now, and they're number 2 in defense. Like,
so you think they'll win the chip? If they play the Bucks, they don't have the best player on the court.
It's I agree, but the Bucks are the Bucks are shallow, bro. They're shallow. Like so this is the thing. This is the difference between new superstars and older superstars. I think great superstars in the past, man, they figured out a way to win if they were the best player on the team. For the most part. You know what I mean? Best player on the court. Right? It's not like that anymore.
Jokic is a superstar.
That's what I'm saying. We're going to find that out this year. Because I think the Celtics should win the title this year. But if Jokic has that mentality where he's like, okay, I'm going to figure this shit out. These guys are better than us. They've proven that they have a better team than us, but I'm going to figure out how to win. We're going to see. I don't know if Jokic is that, but he was that last year in the in the playoffs. Like he figured out a way to win games.
Yeah.
So he looks great. So let's see. I mean, it's winning another championship after you winning your first one proves more than winning your first one to me, because you're the hunted at this point. You know what I mean? So I'm excited to see what he's going to do.
If Jokic had Brook Lopez's ability on defense, would he be the GOAT?
No.
He would be. He's going to be top 10 now, eventually.
Yeah, I mean, like, no, I don't. He wouldn't be the GOAT, but he'd be. I mean, it'd move him up. Like, I mean, here's the thing: if he utilized, because like as good as Brook Lopez is defensively, like Milwaukee still gets scored on a ton. You know what I mean? Like his defensive impact isn't like dominating the game like defensive. No, it's not. He's
playing up things in the paint.
I agree.
Protects the rim.
It's not dominating the game though. He's definitely contributing to their winning, but it's not dominating the game.
Who's the best defender in the NBA in terms of versatility, in terms of rim protection, in terms of being able to guard the perimeter as well? I mean, it was Draymond for a while, but he's not in his prime.
I don't know, man. I really don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that there's
Draymond's the smartest defender.
I don't think there's anyone right now that is their defensive prowess is affecting the game that much. Like, maybe Rudy Gobert, maybe, you know what I mean? But like, it's like, I felt like in the past, guys like Ben Wallace, like, would make a team good that wasn't supposed to be that good because of their defensive prowess, Mm-hmm. And it's just like, no matter how good somebody is defensively these days, I don't know if maybe it's the offense is crazy. It doesn't make a huge difference. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, so it's just crazy. I don't know. I mean, maybe Wemby gets to that point in his career, I mean, I feel like he's got that type of ability, but it's hard to make that type of defensive, like Dikembe Mutombo is another example, like a guy who just his prowess was so incredible that he made teams better. He dominated the game defensively. But the thing about it is the game is different. everyone's shooting threes. So how can you be that effective of a defensive player? Most people who dominate the game defensively like that were interior big men. But if everyone's shooting threes now, you can't. It doesn't affect your game that much. You know, the floor is so open as well too. Like everyone can shoot threes. Like, I mean, Trae Young was just talking about it on a podcast interview with Taylor Rooks. And he was just saying the NBA is just so easy to score. It's just like so much easy. He's like, they don't have the defensive 3 seconds, which makes things so easy. And everything is one-on-one. You have to play people one-on-one. And because it's so open, you know, like it's just a lot easier to score. So, it's harder to be a defensive impact player in today's game. You know, I think that they should honestly try to manipulate the rules a little bit.
They are.
To try to like re-implement defense back in the game.
No, they are. Adam Silver talked about this.
Yeah, I know he talked about it, but I think they.
But you know, when he talks about, he was talking about it in season tournament, and like he was kind of putting it out there, and then he did it. It's going to be the same thing with this.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Like it's like, I mean, dog, scoring is meaningless now these days, you know? Putting up 70 means like yeah, it's something, but it's not like crazy, you know? Like we got 4 or 5 guys over 30 points a game. Like that's
why I think Wemby's going to average 37.
You know, but I mean, who knows if that happens? You know, that's if scoring continues to elevate, you know, that might change.
Yeah.
Like that's why, like, I think also in Michael Jordan's era is different. Like, dog, Jordan had 45 in the closeout game against the Utah Jazz, and his team had 86.
Yeah,
like, dog, people were struggling to score, and Jordan put up half his team's points. Like, it just means something so different. Like, you know, we've played ball before. You know those slug out games where it's like a defensive, you know, game, and it's like everyone's really locking up. Like when someone does score, it's so much more impactful than an open game.
It's like,
you know?
Game 7 when there's like 8 necks.
Exactly. You know, so it's
that just sounds crazy.
That's just what a lot of the 90s playoffs was.
Game 7 with 8 necks is nuts. Yo, that is nuts.
Yeah, but that's how I felt sometimes, bro. Like when and so I guess that's
especially if you're one of those little LA Fitness gyms. It's crazy.
You know, like, and you just looking down, and more people are coming in. Like,
point game is arguments and hack fest. You got to win on a jump shot.
You have to. That's how it was in the 90s, bro, and that's why it felt like those
that
buckets.
Is still like it is today, though. Like if you get into a gym like that, it's gonna still be that kind of energy
in a gym. Not in the NBA.
Oh, yeah, not in the NBA. Yeah.
Like the crazy thing, it's not even like that in the playoffs anymore.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Bro,
no.
Here's the thing.
That's why the Heat do so well. It turns into that.
But still, people are still putting up buckets. Like, okay, maybe the Heat muck up the game like that. That's why they do well. But like, I feel like the last couple years,
and that's why the Celtics might not.
The playoffs haven't been like that. I'm like, come on, y'all. Like this is the thing. People give up in the playoffs, and that's new to me. Like teams go up by 20 at halftime, and dudes give up.
You heard what's your boy? What's his name? What's your boy's name? Who has the podcast? Talking about Bryn Forbes when he was like, "Yeah, it's over, man."
Oh, Jeff T. Bro, it's like I don't understand. Like that's the difference. Like dudes go up by a few points, like 20 points at halftime, and you see players come in and give up.
Yeah.
Like if they can't, they'll start off the second half kind of hot, and if the other team's still cooking, they're like, all right, we out. Yeah. Coaches give up. They take their players out. You know, it's just different. So I just want to see competition, man. You know, like that's why I loved watching Miami last year. They made every single game competitive. Even the games that they lost, you never saw them give up. They always had a fourth quarter run in them, you know? I feel like now, you know, games would be blowouts, you know, and then people go, "Oh, it's over," you know, and they mail it in. So yeah. Man, I'm excited for the playoffs, but like it don't feel the same. It feels, you know what it feels like, right? It feels like everybody has advanced their offensive game so much the offensive skill set has gotten to a level that's so high that so many people don't try as much because they feel like it's like a lost cause. And I think that energy...
that's the AAU shit.
I agree.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. But I also feel like that energy has trickled down to all facets. You know what I mean? Where it's
you know what I think part of it too is when like high school kids watch NBA players work out and they're kind of going through the motions. High school kids play games like that now.
Yeah. I mean, dog, that's how it is. Like, bro, these kids, like, they dribble so nonchalant. They shoot step back fadeaways. They don't run back on defense. They have a easy layup, but they try to fillet it. You know what I mean? Everything is just looking
the
smooth.
worst thing I see is when dudes are wide open and they step back.
Yeah. It's like but that's the thing about it is like the NBA has created this machine, right? That so many people are constantly watching highlights now.
Yeah.
Like young kids don't watch games anymore. Everything is that's why Paul George looks like he's in warm-ups in a game. That's how
he's
he plays.
He's just so nice though.
He's so smooth. It's not even like he looks so much nicer because it's so smooth. He looks like he's going through warm-ups when he plays at full speed. But that's just how he plays.
Yeah.
You know, and because of that, that's why so many young people love that game because it looks effortless. He looks like he's just going through the motions.
I mean, he's a very impactful two-way player, even though that you say that.
Paul George is a solid player, bro. He's a solid guy. Like
he's a future Hall of Famer.
He's a future Hall of Famer, but like
how does that equate to solid?
On the bottom end of the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean?
But how does that equate to solid if you're a Hall of Famer?
Well, yeah. But like, I mean, he's gonna be a Hall of Famer, absolutely. But like, you know, people talk about him like he's a top. He's not even gonna be a top 10 shooting guard, probably. I don't even think he might even not even top 20.
He plays the 3 also.
Is he 3?
Plays both.
I mean, what is he gonna end up being? A shooting guard?
No, with the Pacers, he was a 3.
Yeah, because they had Lance Stevenson.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what he'll end up being, a 3 or 2 or whatever, but like, even either one of us, I don't think he's even in the top 15 or 20 of all NBA players, either one position. You know, like as great as he is, or as what people think he is, like he's still gonna be a Hall of Famer. But I mean, I could name probably 15 to 20 small forwards or shooting guards that are above him.
We're not doing that right now, and I don't believe you. I'm not.
Absolutely.
We're not doing
Absolutely.
it right now. 20 shooting guards that are better than him?
Absolutely. You know what I mean?
Terrell Brandon?
What?
Terrell Brandon?
He's a point guard.
Terrell Brandon was...
He's a point guard for the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Remember when the Sports Illustrated came out? Is he the best player in the NBA? Yeah, you probably don't remember that.
Terrell Brandon?
Yeah.
I don't
We'll
think that existed.
We'll Google that. But good show. We'll talk about that on the next one.
All right.
Later.